But this is the second part of the question and answer. So the first question is, how do you juggle work-life balance while being in a PhD program? I think it just all depends on what you want to do. So for me, I try really hard not to work on Sundays. It hasn't really been working that well, but I really want to not work on the weekends. I really try to prioritize my time at school because I know that once I get home, like my brain just shuts off. Like I am not productive at home at all. And so yeah, I try to really prioritize getting work done at school. What else do I do to juggle? I keep a really probably strict schedule about when I'm doing what. I also put in like tasks that I'm doing. I'll put in like homework and stuff into my schedule and like block out time to do that. I think also I have a dog, and so that kind of helps because I can't stay at school all the time, so that helps kind of balance me a little. I also I just like, I don't know, I do a lot of like once I'm home, if I have something pressing to do, I'll do it. But I also prioritize just like having downtime, because being in class all day and like doing stuff with your brain all day is like not conducive to like a healthy lifestyle. So like I just try to make sure I practice like not this piece of hair is really bothering me. Practice like making sure I'm doing the things that I like to do and I want to do. On the weekends, sometimes I go out. I do solo dates once a month. I just started doing that. What else do? I go out with my cohort on the weekends sometimes. Not so much since it's been cold, but I do like to do that. And I'll go to like events and stuff, and I just prioritize both. Like life is going to pass you by if you don't prioritize your life and your schoolwork, if that makes sense. So the next question is, what do you enjoy doing for self-care, and how do you self-care in grad school? So I really don't do that much for self-care. I like to watch TV like a lot. Like I like to binge watch shows. I watch a lot of anime. Like I think I like it because it's not work per se. I like to take walks with my dog. I'm trying to think. I like to read, but I haven't been reading so much lately for self-care. I talk to my parents. I have weekly phone calls with my friends that don't live in the area. I make sure that I get enough sleep. Like sleep is so important, and I prioritize my sleep. Like I am really trying, like I really try hard to be asleep by 11. What else? I walk to school every day. Ooh, did you hear that? I walk to school every day, so I get a little bit of exercise that way, and then I'm going to start back up my exercise regimen here soon. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it that I do for self-care in grad school. I think I don't require that much self-care. Like I think the way I function is like, if I'm doing too much, my body will be like, oh nope, this is too much, and I'll just stop. And so that's like a form of self-care for me. But it looks different for everybody. I'm about to get some plants, so I'm really excited about that. And that'll be a part of my self-care regimen. Keeping these plants alive, keeping my dog alive is pretty self-care-y. And some days I just give myself a break. Like I just won't do anything, and that's okay. Like I'm not a robot. I cannot work all the time, so I make sure to give myself those days, like maybe once or twice a month, and that works for me. Okay, so the next question is, what keeps me going and motivated in grad school? I think one of the main things that keeps me motivated and going is this like end goal of like, I am really not saying that people without a degree can't impact other people, but me and my end degree are going to impact so many people, and I'm so excited about that future. And I'm excited about being able to be a source of inspiration to build other Black psychologists, to inspire Black psychologists, to inspire young Black kids to go on to PhD programs. That's really important to me. I'm really excited about the research I'm doing, because the research won't live on the page. It begs to almost be like applied in a sense. So that's really exciting to me. And I think sort of having these end goals of like what I want to do at the end of this program is really exciting. I'm planning on buying a house once I am out of this program. Also, I'm planning on buying a dog, like adopting a dog once I'm done with the program. So that really keeps me motivated because I'm so excited to get another dog. I don't know what to do. But I think mostly is that impact factor, at least for me. I don't know what keeps other people motivated, but for me, there's this impact that I'm going to have on some children because I'm focused on kids, that I'm gonna have this impact on some kids that'll impact their families, that'll impact society as a whole, and just sort of that sort of framework for me is really important. And that keeps me really motivated because I'm like, wow, I really have an opportunity to use this degree and make a huge difference. So that is pretty much all that keeps me motivated. Like, I just think about my future and I think about how excited I am to be in this program and how excited I was to even be applying. And I think that just really keeps me intrinsically motivated to keep going. The next question is tips on getting research experiences after undergrad. So I'm like a big pusher / encourager of people applying to the Hot Metal Bridge post-baccalaureate program at the University of Pittsburgh. It is amazing. Like, it is really, really great program and I highly recommend it to everybody. But also on APA's website, they have a list of like post-bac experiences that you can apply for at different universities. Like, I think University of California, Irvine is one. There's one at Berkeley, there's one at Northwestern. And so they have all these programs set up for you to go to after your bachelor's degree. I also suggest applying to the NIH. They have a post-bac program that is really, really cool, really, really competitive, but it gives you really great experiences which help boost your application. So I have a friend who's in neuropsych now, and she worked in the NIH, and even though the stuff she did at NIH wasn't directly related to clinical psychology, it still was good experience to have with her work now in clinical psych. I also suggest applying to like universities for research assistant positions, or like lab managers or lab coordinators, project managers or coordinator positions. Those look really good. And it's sort of like a different type of research experience, but a lot of times professors can tailor those experiences to what the person needs to help boost their application to eventually apply to a PhD program. So those are sort of the tips I have. And also just looking on like different forums, like job forums for psychology is what I know I did for a while, but yeah, those are sort of the things I think for research experience. What are the questions you were asked during your PhD interview? I think most of the people who asked me this, I've sent them this, and so I have a long list of interview questions that I was asked. But I think some of the main ones that I remember being asked at like almost every interview was, if you had unlimited funds, what would you do with the money in like terms of a research project? I was asked what I want to do long term. Am I more clinically focused? Am I more academic focused or academia focused? I was asked, what do I think I bring to the program? What unique perspectives do I bring? Yeah, I think that's it. Those are like the top ones off the top of my head that I can remember being asked a lot, actually. So that was pretty intense. I had quite a few interviews. I had what, eight or nine interviews. So that was pretty intense. But those are the ones I remember being asked at like every spot. The next question is, what are your thoughts about a PsyD program? So a little background, when I first started at Hampton, I was like, I wanted to be a family marriage counselor. So I was just gonna get my master's, and then I was like, okay, I don't wanna do that no more. And so then I wanted to do a PsyD program, and I've looked into a few, and I think they are really great opportunities. I think for me, what pushed me towards one and not the other was the research component. I really wanted a PhD because I want the opportunity to do sort of my own research, which is not to say you can't do that with the PsyD. I don't really know because I kind of like abandoned that dream for a PhD, but I think they are great programs. I know some people who are in these programs who really love them, and I think it just depends on what you're really looking for in a program and kind of what you're thinking about doing long term. Do some programs ask for specific PreReq classes or just a psych degree? I think this depends on the program. I think most of the times they don't require like a specific psychology degree, but I mean, this could be wrong. You should look on the school's website, but it's mostly like they require these specific like 5 or 6 classes, like abnormal psych, intro to psychology, a stats class, probably like developmental, some other social or something like that, where these are like basic psychology classes that everybody should have taken. I think that's pretty much it. I can't remember any schools asking for like a psychology degree. I just remember them being like, make sure you've taken these classes. And honestly, I don't remember anybody ever asking me about it either. So, I mean, I guess they just look at your transcript and like, oh, this is good. And then they just move on. And then the last questions, I think, yes, is what tips and advice do you have about the GRE? So the GRE is so hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It is a difficult roadblock. And no, I won't call it a roadblock. I'll call it a speed bump. It's a high speed bump. You gotta hit it really hard or something. I don't know. That's a bad analogy. But I recommend studying like every day, if you can, for like at least an hour and a half each day. Like, treat it like your hardest class where you have to study every day and you have to practice. And I think that's what really helped me improve my score a little bit. Granted, I didn't score that great on the GRE. I still got into grad school, but you have to meet like this minimum threshold, which is different for every school, but you have to like look at their average scores and look at their minimum thresholds and make sure you just score above that, honestly. Because in all my interviews and in all my like experience thus far, nobody has even asked me about my GRE score. So it's like, it matters in the fact that it helps you. It's like a hurdle you have to jump to get into like the running for a grad school program. But I don't know if I would say stress it, but like make sure you place some importance on it, because it matters in the grand scheme of things. Like, it matters minimally, but it still matters. So I would make sure you're studying every day. I would buy prep books. I have a video on my challenge I did on my channel about doing Kaplan. I did an online Kaplan course, which was great. I loved it. I did it twice. What else? I ran through the classes. I did a live online class, and I had books. And I just went through the books over and over again, practice problems. I mean, you can't do too much practice, but then the night before, don't do any practice at all. Get up, have a good breakfast, go in confident because you know what you're doing. You've been studying this long, and then you just go in, rock it out, and then be done with it. Okie dokie, so that is it for the Q&A part 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, be sure to share them below. I'm always willing to answer questions because like you don't know what you don't know. So be sure to ask me anything. Like, I'm open to answering you guys' questions. If you've watched to this far, be sure to leave a like a red emoji. Like, it doesn't matter what emoji, just a red emoji in the comments section, and I'll shout you out. And then be sure to follow me on my Instagram and my other social media. I'll put the name here-ish. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. I love you guys so much. Thank you all for your support, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.